Dillon has plenty of arm strength. I think he's been inconsistent. I think Shedeur has been mostly accurate on his good ones. When it leaves his hand, right? I didn't see him brimming with a ton of confidence yesterday. I can remember one good throw.
He entered camp as an afterthought fourth string, barely noticed. But by day 5, something happened that no one saw coming. How did Shedeur Sanders go from overlooked to undeniable? The Cleveland Browns weren't exactly expected to feature the fourth quarterback on their depth chart, but after a string of high-impact practices, Shedeur is changing that narrative. From early criticism and limited reps to back-to-back standout performances, this is the story of how Sanders is making the most of his opportunity and maybe even rewriting his future. At the start of Browns training camp, things didn't look too promising for Sanders. He was buried deep behind veterans Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, as well as rookie Dillon Gabriel. On just day 3 of practice, Sanders was reportedly throwing to staff members instead of actual receivers. Not only was he receiving minimal reps, but his presence in drills barely made headlines. This raised questions. Was he even in the running? Could he survive a competitive NFL camp with 3 quarterbacks already ahead of him? Issue that sparked criticism from the very top. Shedeur Sanders was cited for 2 speeding incidents in June, 91 miles per hour in a 65 zone and 101 miles per hour in a 60 zone. Browns GM Andrew Berry publicly addressed the situation, calling it not smart. It wasn't just about the tickets. It was about the signal it sent regarding maturity and discipline. From the outside looking in, it seems Sanders had a long way to go before anyone would take him seriously as a contender. But that narrative changed fast. On day 4 of training camp, Shedeur delivered what can only be described as a breakout performance. While the Browns rotated quarterbacks through red zone team drills, Sanders took full advantage of his limited reps. He connected on 3 touchdown passes, including a deep strike to wide receiver Luke Floriea. This wasn't a lucky day or an inflated stat line. It was controlled, calculated execution that caught the eye of both coaches and media. Suddenly, the same analysts who were ignoring him were calling it his best day of camp so far. His pocket awareness, accuracy, and calmness under pressure began to stand out. It was clear Shedeur wasn't just there to participate, he was there to compete. Then came day 5, the Browns' first padded practice. This is when things get real. The intensity increases, the hits are harder, and the margin for error shrinks. And yet once again, Sanders delivered, this time with perfection. He went a flawless 9 for 9, throwing 2 more touchdowns. While Flacco managed 6 of 9 completions and Gabriel went 8 for 12, it was Sanders who stood tall. Those 2 days alone told a story that numbers can't fully explain. Over 17 passes, Sanders didn't miss once. He threw 5 total touchdowns and commanded the field like someone with years of experience. More importantly, he did it under pressure, both from defenders and from the weight of expectations. One of those touchdowns came in a play that showcased his true instincts. The pocket was collapsing, defenders surged toward him like a wave, but Sanders didn't panic. He stepped up with precision, locked eyes on his target, and dropped a dime just as the coverage began to close. It was a perfect blend of poise and timing. Another throw was even more telling. Facing a compact defensive front and no clear lane, Sanders rolled out to the right. The defense bit, thinking he'd run, but just when the opening appeared, he fired a dart between 2 defenders to a receiver in full stride. It was a moment of complete control, high IQ football, executed at NFL speed. This transformation didn't go unnoticed. Even the coaching staff began to give him more looks. Word from inside the Browns facility is that Shedeur is starting to win people over not just because of his stats, but because of his leadership, focus, and resilience. Off the field, he's taken a mature approach as well. In fact, he reportedly asked his father, NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, not to attend camp at first. He didn't want distractions. He wanted to earn everything on his own. That alone tells you something about his mindset.
Why you hadn't gone to
he didn't want me to come. He's like, Dad, I may get 3-4 reps at practice. I don't want you seeing that. Like, come on, no, I'm not where I need to be. Let me get where I need to be. And it's so funny because this is his first time, man.
Garrett Bush, a respected voice in Browns media, put it plainly. Men can lie, women can lie, but these numbers don't lie, and the numbers right now are screaming that Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. Bush went a step further, predicting that once Sanders got real reps, the critics would go quiet. And that's exactly what happened. The excitement surrounding Sanders isn't just about potential anymore. It's about proof. He's shown in consecutive days that he can be efficient, explosive, and intelligent with the football. He's handling the NFL pace, making tight throws, and showing a feel for the game that's hard to teach. Now, the quarterback room dynamic is changing. Kenny Pickett is currently sidelined with a hamstring injury. Joe Flacco is steady but unspectacular. Dillon Gabriel has moments but hasn't separated himself. Sanders, on the other hand, is rising. Coach Kevin Stefanski hasn't named a starter or even hinted at major changes to the depth chart yet, but the writing is on the wall. If Sanders keeps playing like this, it's going to be impossible to keep him off the field. The Browns took a chance on him, selecting him late and with limited expectations. But what Sanders is showing now is that he's not just a project, he's a prospect with real upside, and he's earning every bit of attention he's getting. So what's next? If Sanders continues this level of play into preseason games, there's a real chance he could leapfrog one or even two quarterbacks on the depth chart. And with Watson still managing his workload and Pickett nursing an injury, the opportunity is wide open. Every throw, every rep, every moment matters now. But one thing is crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't backing down from this challenge. He's leaning into it. This isn't hype. It's happening. The same rookie who was an afterthought just days ago is now in the spotlight, not for off-field headlines or family name, but for performance. Real, measurable, game-changing performance. Like whether he ends up starting, backing up, or continuing to climb, one thing's for sure. Shedeur Sanders is here, and he's making sure everyone knows it. From overlooked to undeniable, that's the Sanders story unfolding in real time. And if the first padded practice was any indication, this might just be the beginning. Analysts are starting to discuss how his skill set fits within the Browns' offense. His quick release, smart decision-making, and ability to throw on the move all align with what Coach Stefanski values in a modern quarterback. What's even more impressive is how fast he's adapted. Transitioning from college to the NFL isn't easy, especially for quarterbacks. But Shedeur is making it look natural. It's not just about talent, it's about preparation, mindset, and hunger. Teammates are beginning to rally behind him. Reports from inside the locker room suggest growing respect for the way Sanders carries himself. He's not loud, he's not flashy, he's consistent. And in a league that demands results, that consistency is gold. So what do you think? Is Shedeur Sanders the future for Cleveland, or is this just a hot streak? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive. We've got more updates, highlights, and insider coverage coming your way. Don't miss it. But one thing's for sure, if you haven't been watching him yet, it's time to start, because number 12 isn't just in the mix. He's rewriting it. The Pittsburgh Steelers just got hit with a bombshell nobody saw coming. TJ Watt dropped a surprise that's rocking the entire organization. What should have been normal contract talks has turned into an all-out war. This isn't just about money anymore. It's personal. CBS Sports' Aditi Kinkhabwala dropped the bombshell report on 93.7 The Fan that exposed the ugly reality of these negotiations. The details are stunning. TJ Watt was openly told, "You're fortunate to be a Steeler," Kinkhabwala reported. And his response was, "You're fortunate to have me." This wasn't just contract posturing. This was a direct confrontation between two sides with completely different philosophies about player value and organizational prestige. Kinkhabwala continued her revelation. The Steelers' attitude, the Steelers' mindset, is that it is such a privilege to be in this uniform, to wear this uniform, that therefore, you should take a hometown discount just because you get to play for one of these cornerstone trademark organizations. The bombshell here isn't just what was said, it's what this exchange reveals about the fundamental disconnect between the franchise and their superstar defender. The financial numbers behind this standoff are staggering. Watt isn't just asking for a raise, he's demanding to make history. Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette revealed on The Rich Eisen Show the scope of Watt's demands.
With TJ Watt, the stalemate is going to be that TJ Watt, wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. And the Steelers are looking at it that he's age 31. in order to accommodate any kind of large contract. It can't be a 3-year deal. It has to be a 5-year deal because you need to spread the money out in terms of the guarantee and the signing bonus over 5 years, not 3. And now you're looking at T.J. Watt being age 36.
That means Watt is seeking a deal worth over $40 million annually. The current record holder is Myles Garrett at exactly $40 million per year. The Steelers, meanwhile, are hoping to stay closer to the Max Crosby range of $35.5 million. The gap between these positions represents a massive $4.5 million annual difference. What if the Steelers offer $38 million per year? That would still leave Watt walking away from $2.1 million per week based on 18 checks per season. Would he really hold out into the regular season over that amount? The answer might shock you. Based on the heated exchange, Watt appears prepared to dig in completely. The Steelers face another crushing reality. The market is about to get even more expensive. Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys is entering contract negotiations. His deal will undoubtedly match or exceed Garrett's $40 million figure, perhaps significantly. Shouldn't Watt wait to see what Parsons gets? The Parsons contract will only drive the current market higher, making Watt's case for more than Pittsburgh's best offer even stronger. The Steelers hope to regard the Garrett contract as another Cleveland albatross contract, similar to the Deshaun Watson deal. But that strategy ignores the reality of the pass rush market. The timing of this confrontation couldn't be worse for Pittsburgh. The Steelers have gone all in for 2025. Aaron Rodgers is their starting quarterback in what will be his final NFL season. The offense has replaced George Pickens with DK Metcalf. The defense acquired Jalen Ramsey through a blockbuster trade.
The Dolphins are trading Jalen Ramsey to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Miami Dolphins are getting Minkah Fitzpatrick. This is a player-for-player swap. We rarely see this in the NFL.
Ramsey traded Minkah Fitzpatrick along with a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Miami Dolphins in exchange for Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and a 2027 seventh-round pick. This is Super Bowl or bust in the Steel City. The Steelers are doing everything possible to hoist a Vince Lombardi trophy. Watt holds considerable leverage in these negotiations. The statistics paint a clear picture of his value. The Steelers are 1-11 when Watt misses games due to injury. Not having Watt would offset everything else they've done to reach the playoffs and win a postseason game for the first time in Watt's career. The Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. They consistently beat weaker opponents, but struggle against top-tier teams. Watt's credentials are undeniable. He has been named to 7 Pro Bowls and earned first-team All-Pro honors 4 times in the past 5 seasons before being named second-team All-Pro last year. Former Pro Bowl linebacker LeVar Arrington addressed the situation on the Two Pros and a Cup of Joe podcast with a stark assessment.
And given a $1.5 million raise to bring his salary to 26 and change this year. And Jonnu Smith's salary goes from $4 million to $12 million. Some were saying might not sit well with T.J. Watt, who's looking for his. What can you tell us about this situation, Jerry?
Well, Rich, what I can tell you is that these moves have, and I've been told, have nothing to do with any negotiations with T.J. Watt. The stalemate is going to be that T.J. Watt, wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in.
The Steelers and Watt have been through this before. The last contract negotiation lasted deep into training camp and the preseason. Watt employed a holding-in strategy, attending camp but not practicing until the deal was completed. It worked. He secured a record $28 million per year in new money average. This time feels different. The Steelers seem to believe that when their best number is put on the table, Watt will accept it. Bill Cowher, the former Steelers head coach, offered his perspective on CBS Sports' The Dan Patrick Show. You can't take it personally. It's that time of year. There's no real deadline at this point. He's gone through this before. We saw him almost hold up right till the first game and still have a stellar year. This is, unfortunately, the part of it that you just have to be patient. And I think the one thing that Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan and Art Rooney have done, they've exhibited great patience. They did that with Aaron Rodgers to see where he's at right now. I think the same approach is going to be taken with T.J. Watt. The Steelers made a significant announcement on Thursday, July 3rd. They signed general manager Omar Khan to a 3-year contract extension. Khan has been in charge of the Steelers front office since 2022. He has worked with head coach Mike Tomlin to keep Pittsburgh in perennial playoff contention. "I am excited to announce we have signed Omar to a new 3-year contract," said Steelers president Art Rooney II. "Omar and his team have done a great job over the past 3 years in constructing our roster through the NFL draft, strategic trades, and free agency. We look forward to continuing that trend that will lead to even more success on the field." The extension locks Khan in through at least the 2028 NFL season. Khan, 48, is the son of immigrants and a native of New Orleans. He is in his 25th year with the Steelers. Steelers fans are not happy with the priorities. The urgency among the fan base is palpable across social media. One supporter posted, okay, hear me out. Extend TJ Watt next." This sentiment reflects what many see as Watt being the heart of the Steelers' identity since Ben Roethlisberger's departure. Others expressed frustration that the front office prioritized extending Khan before addressing Watt's contract situation. Fans are hopeful that locking up Watt for the long term would make this a truly successful offseason. One supporter summed it up, "Extend Tej, bring a safety, Simmons, and you'll have won the offseason." Not all reactions to the Khan extension were positive. Some fans questioned the move, pointing out that head coach Mike Tomlin has significant influence over roster decisions. One comment read, "Why? You already have Mike Tomlin making all of Khan's decisions for you." This highlights the perception that Tomlin's role in shaping the team may go beyond traditional head coach boundaries. Multiple teams are positioning themselves for a potential Watt acquisition. The Washington Commanders are eyeing a Super Bowl push in 2025. The Commanders face defensive challenges after losing their top sack leader Dante Fowler Jr. General manager Adam Peters has not effectively filled this void. With quarterback Jaden Daniels emerging as a star, the Commanders are looking to strengthen their defense by pursuing Watt amid his ongoing contract issues. Analysts suggest a trade package could include a 2026 first-round pick plus 2 additional picks from 2027. The Commanders have financial flexibility due to Jaden Daniels' rookie contract. The Philadelphia Eagles' rumors refuse to die. USA Today's Jacob Kamenker included the Eagles in his recent theory about possible landing spots for Watt. Kamenker wrote, "Could Watt stay in Pennsylvania even if he and the Steelers can't reach an agreement? Howie Roseman has never been afraid to make aggressive trades, has $30.8 million in cap space available, and could use another playmaker on the edge." The Eagles lost several edge rushers during the offseason. Josh Sweat signed with the Arizona Cardinals in free agency. Bryce Huff was traded to the San Francisco 49ers, and Brandon Graham retired. Philadelphia still has young talent in Nolan Smith Jr. and Jalix Hunt, but adding a proven veteran like Watt would help keep their Super Bowl window open. The Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Los Angeles Rams were also named as potential destinations.
The Dolphins are trading Jalen Ramsey to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Miami Dolphins are getting Minkah Fitzpatrick. This is a player-for-player swap. We rarely see this in the NFL.
Ramsey has delivered the most explosive public revelation in NFL history, systematically destroying the Miami Dolphins organization while simultaneously creating unprecedented shockwaves throughout the football world that fundamentally challenge team loyalty expectations and redefine how elite players communicate their dissatisfaction with franchise management. This stunning announcement represents far more than simple trade confirmation. It exposes deep-rooted organizational dysfunction and creates systematic questions about Miami's ability to retain elite talent while building championship-caliber teams. Despite the NBA's free agency period starting off with a whirlwind of activity, it appears as if the NFL still managed to dominate the trade-related headlines as Ramsey's shocking announcement has overshadowed all other professional sports news. The Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers agreed to a trade that will see both the star DB, Jalen Ramsey, and breakout tight end, Jonnu Smith, travel to Pittsburgh in exchange for the Steelers' 3-time All-Pro safety, Minkah Fitzpatrick, creating the most consequential defensive back trade in recent NFL history. Ramsey confirmed the deal himself on X, writing, "Break my own news. So here we go at Steelers, delivering perhaps the most devastating public dismissal of his former organization ever witnessed in professional sports." This social media announcement represents unprecedented disrespect for traditional trade announcement protocols while simultaneously creating maximum embarrassment for Dolphins management who lost control of their own narrative. The move is just the latest in what has been a surprisingly active offseason for Pittsburgh. demonstrating how the Steelers have abandoned their conservative approach to roster construction in favor of aggressive talent acquisition that prioritizes immediate championship contention over long-term financial planning. This systematic transformation has created industry-wide shock as one of the NFL's most traditional franchises embraces unprecedented risk-taking strategies. Pro Football Talk's founder, Mike Florio, expressed complete bewilderment at Pittsburgh's organizational transformation, asking, "What the hell happened to the Steelers? They've undergone some sort of organic personality change this year. Who is this team wearing black and gold? They are acting like they have never acted before, and I mean never," highlighting how Ramsey's acquisition represents fundamental departure from established franchise philosophy.